Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we have achieved, I believe, I'm looking here, we have achieved Richard Strauss. Oh my God. I don't even really like Richard Strauss. At least I didn't for a very long time. And eventually, I learned to like Strauss by doing what I usually do. I wrote a book about him, which made me listen and pay attention and realize that there was more to him than just the, few tone poems and a couple operas that I traditionally enjoyed, like Salome and Electra. Those are always fun. There's actually tons and tons of Strauss, and some of it is much better than we think it is. So in the meantime, whether I liked him or not, it just accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And huge, big piles of Strauss accumulated. So we're going to be talking about Strauss. I'm wondering, what do I have under Strauss here? Is this more Strauss? No, I don't think so. Okay, good. So here we go. Strauss isn't too terrible. Well, it's pretty bad. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? The complete Strauss opera cube on Deutsche Grammophon. This is a talk by itself because we have to talk about what's in it. And it's really pretty good. There's a lot of stuff here. Some of these things are live. Some of them are, it has its moments. So let's go through it. And there's a little book. Is there a little book? Yes, there's a little book. Here's the book. And I can tell you what's in the complete Strauss opera cube. It's amazing when you consider how famous Strauss is for his famous operas, that some of the least famous ones really had to wait a very long time to get professional studio recordings, and some of them are still sort of on the fringes where that comes from, but that's okay. Let's see what we have here. This is complicated because you have to go one at a time, and they've got notes for each one, and they're not next to each other. Synopses, and all right. Here, we'll do it this way. I can just look at the back of the box. It starts with, they're in alphabetical order. Well, that's bizarre. All right, they're in alphabetical order. Arabella, not counting D, of course, in German, which means the, right? Der or whatever. Arabella, it begins with a famous Arabella with Lisa Della Casa, Fischer Dieskau, Anneliese Rothenberger, Kohn, what's her name, Melaniuk, and the Bavarian State Orchestra under Joseph Keilberth. I wonder if this is the first thing in here. Yes, it's the first thing here too. This is a live recording from 1963. The classic Arabella, of course, was the Schulte, the Decca one. And then there were a couple later ones, like I think Kiri Te Kanawa did it and whatnot. But Arabella is a lousy opera. I'm sorry. What happened with Arabella is that Hugo von Hofmannsthal died, and Strauss insisted on setting the absolute complete libretto without any changes. Not that it would have mattered, because the story is just horrible. It's absolutely awful. Her parents are basically trying to marry her off because they want money. That's the story, and it has something to do with a glass of water. So yeah, it's that one, and it's here, and it's not bad, but it's also not great, and it's like, who cares? Okay, Ariadne auf Naxos. Well, Ariadne auf Naxos is wonderful. This is the one, this is the Sinopoli recording. Okay, well, that's really cool. It's with Debbie Voigt, Anna-Sophie von Otter, Natalie Dessay as Zerbinetta, Ben Heppner as Bacchus. It's a very, very strong cast, and it's a good performance. It really is. It's very enjoyable and gorgeously recorded. All of these Sinopoli Strauss operas were gorgeously recorded. And I believe, is it also with the Staatskapelle Dresden, which we always want to hear in Strauss whenever we can, his favorite orchestra, I think, and mine when it comes to that stuff. So that's a wonderful opera to have. And let's see, Capriccio. This is the Karl Böhm Capriccio with Gundula Janowitz and Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau and Peter Schreier and Hermann Prey and Tatiana Troyanos and Karl Ritterbusch. It's an amazing cast. I think this one, frankly, is better than the Sawallisch one on EMI with Elizabeth Schwarzkopf and those people. That's the one that everyone always talked about. It was in mono, by the way, but everyone said, Sawallisch, it was, But I think this one has better singing and better conducting. So there. It's just marvelous. And then we have, let's see, what's next? Daphne. Oh, this is the one with Carl Boehm, the live one, which is fabulous. It was dedicated to Carl Boehm, so he certainly knew it. It's one of Strauss's late masterpieces. It's a pastoral story. It's not going to win any awards for, thrillingness or whatever, but oh, it's a beautiful piece. And the transformation scene where she turns into a tree at the end is just gorgeous. And, it's with Paul Schiffler, Vera Little, Hilda Good, and Fritz Wunderlich, James King. It's just marvelous, absolutely marvelous. It was Apollo, yeah, it's James King, and then you got a bunch of shepherds and like people like that, and Gea, and Hilda Good, and there's Daphne, and it's so pretty. It's a light, lovely work. It really is. And then after Daphne, we have Electra. Well, this is the famous. This is the Schulte Electra with Vienna Phil. On Deutsche Grammophon. Why didn't they use the Schulte Arabella? I mean, I don't get it. Well, anyway, that's their. That was their choice. So this is with Regina Resnick and Birgit Nielsen and Mary Collier and Gerhard Stolze and Tom Krause. It's fabulous. One of the great Electras. It's electrifying. Ha, ha, ha. Right? Yeah, I mean, you've heard that one before. Then we have Fire Snot. Fire Snot is a completely ridiculous story about a wizard who wants to have a girlfriend and the town doesn't like him because he's like bizarre, and so he won't allow fire to be lit in the town. Fire Snot means Feuer's not, fire's need, fire's necessity, it's a German compound nonsense is what it is. And this is with Helmut Krebs and Helmut Berger Tuna, and Gundel Janowitz and other people like that. John Shirley Quirk, oh, he's in there. Look at that, with Eric Leinsdorf and the Deutsche Symphony Orchestra Berlin. Well, that's fun. Where did they license that from, I wonder? It's pretty. It's Strauss. It's recognizably Strauss. It has a great sex scene. It's got some great love music. But the whole story itself is kind of hopelessly silly. So that's that. Then we have Die Frauen Schatten. Which one did they use here? Oh, I think they used the Schulte. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Because before all they had were like, they could have used the Böhm stereo one, the old Böhm, which is on Decca, which was marvelous, since they seemed to be able to do Decca without any problem, with that wonderful cast, but it was cut. So the Schulte is the best, totally uncut Frauen Schatten. Well, actually, the new one with Telemann, believe it or not, was absolutely wonderful. But you've got Placido Domingo, Julia Varade, Reinhild Runkel attempting the role of the nurse, which is unsingable no matter who does it. Joseph Van Dam, Albert Domen, Hildegard Behrens as the Frau of the Ona Schotten part, and Sumi Jo, who's the voice of the Falcon, and it's brilliantly recorded and pulverizingly conducted, and it's exciting as all hell. So that's great. Then we have Die Schweigsame Frau, the Silent Woman. Oh, this is so much fun. This is the Carl Boehm live recording from 1959 with Hans Hodder and Georgine von Milinkovic and Hermann Prey and Fritz Wunderlich and Hilda Gooden and all those people. This opera still needs a really great studio recording. It's the comic masterpiece of Strauss's late years. It truly is. It's absolutely marvelous. This performance is adequate, but not better. I mean, the singers, you're tempted, right? But it's live and the sound is, it's okay. Friedenstag, opera in one act. Friedenstag is possibly Strauss's worst opera. It's about it's about a war that doesn't really happen, and there's a love interest, and peace comes out at the end, and it's just awful, absolutely awful. This is a wonderful performance. It's the Staatskapelle Dresden with Sinopoli, with Albert Domen and Debbie Voigt and Alfred Reiter and Tom Martinson, and there are no really great roles in it. There's no really great music in it. It's just ugh. Anyway. So that's Friedenstag. Then we've got Guntram. This is the Hungarian State Orchestra under Yves Queller. Boy, did they license that. They really had to. I remember this one. It was on Sony, if I'm not mistaken. Guntram was Strauss's first opera. It caused unbelievable hysteria when it came out because Gunther, as a knight, decides not to retire to a life of self-abnegation and instead decides to turn his back on the holy society of whatever, and it was an affront to Wagnerian aesthetics and philosophy, and Strauss didn't care, and no one cared, and it's hopeless, this opera. And it has characters who are impossible to keep track of, because the female lead, Ilona Tokodi, in this particular Hungarian cast, and Rainer Goldberg is in this, and Istvan Gatti, he was a good singer, and Sándor Solyom-Nagy. But she's Freihild, and the champion of love is Friedhold. So we have Freihild and Friedhold. Maybe in German they could tell them apart. Well, one's male, one's female. Not that it matters much in this opera, but it's not great. So then we have Die Ägyptische Helena. Oh, this is so stupid, this opera. Oh my God. This is the one with the giant talking clam. Yeah, Die alles wissende Muschel, the omniscient mussel. Okay, it's a mussel, it's not a clam. In this case, it's Birgit Finale. And Helen is Gwyneth Jones. This is the Dorati recording. Menelaus is Matti Kastu. Really beautiful music. It's absolutely gorgeous score, fabulous score. Dorati in the Detroit Symphony on Decca, where it was. But the opera, the story is hopeless. The Ägyptische Helen has to do with Helen of Troy was somehow cloned, and instead of being captured or killed or whatever, she's mysteriously transferred to Egypt to meet up again with her husband. Or it makes no sense, absolutely no sense. But it does have 4 minutes of Strauss's most gorgeous soprano writing. It's the opening of Act 2, Zweite Brautnacht. Oh, it's gorgeous, just gorgeous. It almost redeems the whole damn thing, almost. And then we have Intermezzo. Intermezzo is the bourgeois accommodation. This is Savalish's recording, which is quite good. And it features Lucia Popp and Philip Brammer and Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau and Gabriel Fuchs and Adolf Dalla-Pozza. This is the one that was on EMI originally, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it was based on a real episode in Strauss's life, and his wife found out about it and got hysterical about possible infidelity, and the guy's a composer, and his wife is really jealous, and it was taken from Strauss's domestic situations, which just drove Madame Strauss crazy, especially because he didn't really tell her about it. So it was like, ooh, until it was too late, until it showed up. Anyway, it's a very good performance of a hopelessly silly and interesting. It's an interesting opera. The plot is, of course it's an opera. The plots are all silly, aren't they? But it's actually rather fun, and it's a very conversational, interesting kind of work. It was Strauss' effort to do maybe Neue Sachlichkeit, to talk about common, ordinary things in a common, ordinary way. Was he good at it? You decide. Then we've got Die Liebe der Danae. I like this piece too. This is a merry mythology in 3 acts. It's all about greed. The scenario is by Hofmannsthal, but Joseph Gregor actually put the thing together. And it's all about, like I said, the love of Danae. They all want golden showers. Showers of gold. You know what I mean. They want gold. They're all out to get gold. And this is with Clemens Krauss from 1952. It's a pity they didn't have a better version to put on here, because the sound is rudimentary. It's from Salzburg Festival. The cast is okay. It's not like the deluxe cast. It's Paul Schöffler, Joseph Traxel, Laszlo Zimir, Anneliese Cooper, and Annie Felbermeyer, and Joseph Gostich. It's not going to win any awards. The piece needs a little special pleading, but it does have absolutely beautiful music, and it's not as silly as some of the other things. People turn into gold and turn back or stuff. I don't know what happens in it. I don't even remember. But that's it. Is that it? Die Liebe der Danae? No, it can't be. We've got to be many more. And the R's. Rosenkavalier, Regine Crespin, Manfred Jungwirth, Yvonne Mitten. This is the Schulte recording. Otto Wiener, Helen Donat, Emmy Luce, Marie Dickey, Ann Howells. It's the Schulte recording, which is quite good. It's quite good and Straussish. And it's Rosenkavalier, so everyone has their favorite. And this one is not many's, but I love Regine Crespin, and it's got some really good singing in it. Salome. Let's see who's doing this one. Oh, this is the Sinopoly with Horst Heisterman, Leonie Rieseneck as Herodias, one of her last roles. Cheryl Studer, one of her best roles. Actually, she sings very, very well. Bryn Terfel and others with Sinopoly and the orchestra Der Deutschen Oper Berlin. It's sort of, well, they could have used the Schulte, right? And they could have used, oh hell, I mean, they seem to be able to get anything they want. They could have had Carions for that matter, but they don't. And the Böhm had Gwyneth Jones. His video had Teresa Stratas, which was rather better, really better. But so this Sinopoly Salome is really very, very good. It's nice to have. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have timeline. S is the end of it, isn't it? Yeah, Strauss only got to S. There's no W, X, Y, or Z. So that's the Strauss opera box, my friends. I mean, I've taken a lot of time to go through it. And we have a lot of Strauss to do in the overflow room. So this is going to go in with the box sets back here, I think. And there you have it. We're into Strauss. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.